teaches me something, and I hope I'm getting better at it all the time and finding my own sound.
Yeah, I remember there's a story about Run DMC, and one of the rappers out of Run DMC used to, his, for some reason, it's not necessarily explained how this happened, but his voice did go lower. With your having your voice change from what it used to be, that's got to be a psychological thing to have your voice change on you, and from what it was to what it was. How was it for you to adapt to this? And it seemed like it was almost a blessing in disguise for you to have a different voice than you were when you were with the metal band. I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I've sang like various music styles, and I think it's a kind of physical thing for the voice go lower, because it's really common for older, like Ozzy Osbourne. The Black Sabbath have like made the songs go lower because Ozzy can't go as high notes as he used to. So it's kind of physical thing, but I don't know. The music kind of speaks, and it like tells what it does need vocally. So you kind of naturally adapt to the music.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of adapt as well. I mean, like I said, it's interesting to kind of see where that kind of psychology goes as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about being in the studio. I mean, you've had a lot of experience, and you've probably seen it even back from when it was made possibly reel to reel, and before we've had computers as well coming into the studio. I mean, what was it like coming into the studio this time around? And I mean, did you learn a lot from kind of, with your experiences going into the studio, having put out 8 albums?
Yeah, I learned a lot this time. Actually, I made the last Metal Duo Mystons album on reel, and we played it live, and including the vocals. It was really nice experience. I really like the tape sound and how it makes you play. But this time I made it digitally, and I made a home studio and made all the acoustics and started to get the equipment and learned a lot of stuff, how to record and things like that. It was very different process, but I learned a lot, and I'm really happy I did it this way.
Yeah, the process always, was that, you'd have certain instruments or certain people come in first or whatever. I mean, what was kind of the process for you? Did you kind of lay down the guitar first, the drums first? Did you lay down vocals? I mean, tell me a little bit about, that process and the order of which you were in studio, and what kind of processes you had.
Yeah, well, there's 2 songs in the beginning with drums. For those, I recorded first like demo guitar and vocals, and then the drums. Usually, when you record drums, you have to do them first, and then after the other things. But for the other songs, I played acoustic guitar and sang live, like whole takes. So it's a whole song of me playing in a room, and then there's some added stuff after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. A lot of musicians, will go through a whole song without having to, maybe stop somewhere, and if they mess up or whatever. I mean, that's very interesting, to say the least, on this album, to be able to do that. Not a lot of my musicians nowadays would even attempt to do that. They want to be perfect, but sometimes there's our imperfections that make the music better. I mean, was that your thought coming into wanting to do it that way? Is just that, you wanted to kind of almost gain a little bit more momentum and not have to worry about maybe what you could consider mistakes, but maybe some of the audience would not consider mistakes?
Well, I'm kind of perfectionist in the studio, so it was really annoying to record in a way. But what I'm looking for recording live is the feeling, the moment of playing that song. And you can't really capture that when you record just guitar and sing afterwards. It's like 2 different situations at 2 different times. So when you record them simultaneously, you capture something in time or something, and a specific mood for the song. and I try to like search for the best mood and time to record the song without doing so many mistakes.
I know it's a little bit late out there. I want to, give you a little bit of time and whatever as well. But, I think, like I said, it's interesting to kind of hear a little bit about some of the behind the scenes stuff as well. Tell me a little bit about the people who kind of helped you out with this album, some of your production team, and how they've helped out.
Yeah, well, I had the first guy I played this music was the Mustons, metal duo Mustons second part drummer vocalist Jussi Vuola, who also owns VR Studio and plays in many other bands. He just played with Michael Monroe, so he kind of really like pushed me to do this myself this time. And I just then I chose the mixing engineer who I worked with before, Hiili Hiilesmaa. He has done Him and Apocalyptica and bands like that. So I just recorded everything, and he helped me out a little bit how to record the stuff and things like that. And then he mixed it out, and then I was searching for all of my favorite albums for a mastering engineer, and I came out with Vlado Meller in the US from Johnny Cash American Recordings V 100 Highways. So he got into it and made the album as good as it possibly can be. So that was the process.
Well, it's great to hear. I mean, always having good guys and to be able to see your vision is absolutely mandatory in an album like this. So it's great to be able to see that as well. I want to mention that Dreams of a Middle-Aged Man is it's going to be out on December the 18th. You guys can check that out wherever you get your music. And, of course, the single Poison Woman will be out on the same day as well. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, the easiest you can find me is on mauridark.com. There you can find all of my social media accounts as well.
Well, I'm very interested to see what goes on with the album. Hopefully we'll get you back a little bit later on coming into 2021 when you have other projects going on as well. Hopefully things open up again and we can start getting live music back up and running again. But thanks a lot for joining us, and thanks a lot for staying up late over there in Finland.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. It was fun talking to you. And good night or good day to you.
You guys can check us out on social media at SWIV, and Somewhere in Vegas on Facebook. You guys can also check us out on Instagram at SWIV Podcast. That's at SWIV Podcast as well. You guys can subscribe and listen to all of your podcast catchers. You can also ask Alexa to be able to play Somewhere in Vegas as well. We have shows all the way up to the end of the year on Mondays. They drop Mondays and Wednesdays, so you guys can check that out as well. And check out some of our really great interviews we've had in the past couple of weeks as well. With that in mind, we'll see you next time here on Somewhere in Vegas.